Before dawn, the desert holds its breath. The sand lies cold, the horizon still a blur of grey and gold. Then something stirs. A shape glides across the emptiness. Not a soldier, not a tank, but a machine. Its cameras blink, sensors scan, gears hum softly as it moves. It pauses, adjusts course, and continues forward with the quiet precision of something that doesn't need sleep, fear, or courage. This is the U.S. Army's new frontier, a revolution already unfolding. The story began long before the word autonomy became a buzzword. In the early 2000s, American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan faced an invisible killer, the improvised explosive device. Buried under dirt, hidden in trash, disguised in cars, IEDs turned every road into a death trap. To save lives, soldiers sent robots ahead. The first battlefield machines were crude but brave in their own way. The Packbot, the Talon, the Markbot, small tracked robots guided by handheld controllers. They rolled toward danger so humans didn't have to. Their cameras offered shaky images of suspected bombs, their mechanical arms probing wires and debris. Many never came back. They were blown apart, doing what they were built to do. Take the blast for the soldier who sent them. Those machines marked the beginning. They weren't intelligent, but they changed everything. They proved that a robot could be a soldier's partner, not in theory, but in the dust and chaos of war. As the 2010s arrived, technology outside the military began racing ahead. Self-driving cars, commercial drones, artificial intelligence, the kind of innovation that could rewrite the rules of battle. The Army realized that remote control wasn't enough. Machines had to think. At research labs and test ranges across the country, Fort Benning, Aberdeen, Austin, engineers began building robots that could move and decide on their own. The Squad Multi-Purpose Equipment Transport, the SMET, could carry hundreds of pounds of gear and follow troops without being steered. Small drones like the Black Hornet could scout alleyways and rooftops, transmitting live video to a soldier's tablet. These weren't toys. They were eyes and ears and sometimes shields. The Army's new doctrine took shape, human-machine teaming. Not replacement, but partnership. Let the robots handle the dull, the dirty, and the dangerous. Let humans focus on judgment, on command, on what machines can't understand. Intent. Autonomy crept into every layer of warfare. The Next Generation Combat Vehicle program began testing robotic tanks that could move with or without crews. Convoys of driverless trucks practiced resupply missions. Swarms of small drones rehearsed attacks in perfect coordination, guided by algorithms instead of orders. Each advance pushed the line between human and machine a little further. For soldiers in training fields, this new reality feels both thrilling and strange. At Fort Moore, Georgia, troops run drills with robotic scouts that zip ahead and stream video back to their helmets. In the California desert, commanders simulate battles where AI suggests tactics in real time. Some soldiers trust the tech instantly, others hesitate, uneasy about giving a machine that much power. But in every exercise, one thing becomes clear. The battlefield is no longer just terrain, it's data. Yet technology never marches forward without questions. If a robot misidentifies a threat, who's responsible? If an autonomous system pulls the trigger, where does accountability lie? The Pentagon's answer is firm. Humans stay in the loop. Lethal decisions remain a human responsibility. But as AI improves, as machines learn faster and react sooner than people ever could, that line grows thin. Ethicists call it the problem of judgment. A machine can see, aim, and fire with perfect accuracy, but it cannot feel hesitation, remorse, or mercy. The Army's engineers try to code restraint, to teach context through vast libraries of data. But there is no algorithm for conscience. That is something only humans bring to war. Still, the revolution accelerates. The Army's vision of the mosaic battlefield imagines every soldier, drone, and vehicle linked together, a living network of sensors and intelligence. Drones scan a city block, Ground robots map the safest route. Data flows into a commander's headset, and the human decides in seconds what once took minutes. Speed becomes survival. In that system, the Integrated Visual Augmentation System, EVAS, is a glimpse of tomorrow. A mixed reality headset overlays digital information on the real world. A soldier wearing it can see through smoke, mark targets, even share what they see with every teammate instantly. It's not science fiction anymore. It's field-tested hardware, part of the Army's new normal. But beyond the hardware, there's something more human at stake. Adaptation. Every generation of soldiers has faced a new kind of warfare. Muskets to rifles, tanks to planes, computers to code. This one faces intelligent machines. In training, young recruits learn to coordinate with robots the way previous soldiers learned to read maps or use radios. They speak commands into headsets, send drones to scout, and trust the quiet hum of a machine to watch their back. Not all experiments succeed. Some robotic vehicles break down in rough terrain. Some AI systems misread shadows as threats. Even a light rain can throw off sensors. Engineers call it the friction of reality, the stubborn unpredictability that no simulation can capture. But every failure feeds the next design. Every mistake makes the machines a little smarter, a little tougher, a little more like partners than tools. The US isn't alone in this race. China is testing autonomous tanks. Russia's developing combat drones that can hunt in packs. Israel's already deployed AI-driven border patrols. The stakes are no longer just military, they're geopolitical. Whoever masters robotic warfare could redefine global power itself. But the Army insists its revolution isn't about replacing people. It's about preserving them. Unmanned vehicles can enter chemical zones no human could survive. Drones can fly into sniper fire to locate shooters before soldiers move. Robots can clear mines, deliver supplies, even evacuate the wounded. The idea isn't less humanity, it's less loss. At an Army depot in Michigan, robotic arms assemble components for the next generation of unmanned vehicles. In Texas, convoys of self-driving trucks move across miles of desert, following invisible digital paths. In each experiment, humans remain at the center, monitoring, guiding, learning. Manned-unmanned teaming, or MUM-T, has become the Army's mantra. But technology changes more than tactics. It reshapes emotion. For some soldiers, watching a robot roll toward danger brings guilt, relief that it isn't them, sorrow that something built by human hands is being destroyed instead. Others feel awe, even pride, at what those machines can do. The relationship is oddly personal. Soldiers name their robots, they decorate them. When a machine is lost, they mourn it like a comrade. Behind the front lines, engineers keep pushing boundaries, not for glory, but for survival. They know that in modern warfare, hesitation can cost lives. The goal is not to make machines human, but to make them reliable enough that humans can trust them when it matters most. And yet, beneath all the code and circuitry, one truth remains constant. Machines don't understand why we fight. They can defend, destroy, rescue, and rebuild, but they cannot believe. That is still the soldier's burden, and the soldier's gift. In a testing ground somewhere in Arizona, a new generation of combat robots sits waiting for dawn. Their engines whisper in the silence, their metal frames painted the same dust-colored tones as the desert they'll soon cross. Nearby, a squad of soldiers checks their gear, their expressions unreadable in the half-light. One of them glances at the machine beside him, a squat, tracked robot armed with sensors and cameras, and nods as if greeting a new kind of comrade. When the signal comes, the machines move first. Dust rises, sunlight flashes on steel. The soldiers follow, their screens alive with data, their pace steady. It's a quiet, eerie sight, the merging of flesh and circuitry, heart and algorithm. A vision of what warfare has become and what it's about to be. The US Army's robot revolution isn't just changing how wars are fought. It is redefining what it means to fight and what it means to be human in a world where the line between man and machine grows thinner every day. Because in the end, even in a war of machines, it is still the human heart that decides when the fighting stops.